So, how do we make healthy sleep a priority for the entire family? How do we get our family on board with our goal to prioritize sleep? Hi, I'm Dr. Funke Afolabi Brown. If this is the first time you are meeting me, I am the founder of Restful Sleep MD. And I talk all things sleep on this channel because who doesn't want a little more sleep to be the best version of themselves? Now, the thing about it is, as a high achieving woman, you might already know that, yes, sleep is important, but I can't seem to get good sleep because one, my family, my spouse, my kids want to do whatever it is they want to do, and we're just not all on the same page. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of my most common ways to help families prioritize sleep so that it's not just about you telling people to go to sleep or trying all this sleep hygiene or sleep healthy sleep habits where you're the only one who's following through, right? So here are just some of them. The first I would say is really be a role model, because you know what? Our kids are really watching what we're doing more than they're hearing what we're saying, right? So if you're telling your kids, go to bed, and you are not prioritizing sleep, you are on your devices till super late hours of the night, and you are sleeping in on the weekends and things like that, then, or you are drinking caffeine or things like that, then they're less likely to follow through. So really making sleep priority something that you model would be the first step to go. And that may look like really showing by example that, well, we can't overschedule, right? We're going to make time as a family for what's important. And so when, you feel tempted to sign them up for a gazillion after school activities, you realize, well, if I do that, they're going to be going to bed much later. And our day then doesn't start until sort of later in the morning and things like that. So really taking that into consideration to realize that they are watching what we're doing much more than what we're saying. So role model is number one. Number two is really keeping a regular routine, right? Routines or rituals are things that we do on a consistent basis. And the fact that, we had this incredible routines for our babies when they were younger doesn't mean that all of a sudden we throw routines out the window. So make routines a lifestyle. That may look like, having a snack in the evening, depending on what time dinner was, some form of hygiene with a bath or a shower, and brushing teeth, some level of communication, either talking over their day, talking over your day as a family, or singing a song or something of that sort. And then finally some kind of either learning or connection, like reading a book together or listening to an audiobook or something of that sort, or talking about something you learned. Nothing too stimulating though. So routines are just really important, not just for our kids, but for us as parents and even for our teenagers. Number three is keep physical activity a priority. So during the day, when we exercise, when we get out there and enjoy nature, when we walk around, when we go to the gym, when we just keep our kids physically active through sports as well, that ends up improving their sleep. And this is something that has been shown with a lot of research, really reflecting that exercise as a priority will help you sleep better. It will help you sleep longer. It will help you get deeper sleep, and it will help you have more restorative sleep. Then the next one, number four, is really monitoring screen time. And what I recommend is have a media or screen or media plan for the family. What does that look like? Does that look like by, 60 minutes or 30 minutes before bedtime, we all shut down our devices? Do we have an area where we're charging our devices for the night? Are we making sure that no devices are coming into the bedrooms? The reason why this is important to start off from the start is then they know what to expect, right? They know that at a certain time devices shut off, at a certain time we go and plug things outside of the bedroom. So that's really important, having a media time, having a way that you can monitor things as well, right? Because we know that there's a lot going on social media, a lot of things that our kids have access to that may, one, be disruptive for their sleep, and then two, may really end up causing more anxiety, which would in turn affect their sleep. Number five is create a supportive sleep environment, right? A bedroom environment that is cool, that is dark, that is noise free. For a lot of young kids, sometimes they end up bringing toys right, our toddlers into bedroom with them. And so maybe they wake up in the middle of the night, or they wake up, or they have a hard time falling asleep, and then they start playing with toys, they start engaging in creative play. I really recommend trying to separate that, especially for younger kids, so that they don't feel tempted to stay up later because they have toys they want to play with. Now, of course, you can include things like, a lovey or some kind of transitional object, a stuffed animal or two, that they can, just keep them comfortable and things like that at bedtime. But make sure it doesn't become this thing that then ends up distracting them from sleep. Also making sure that the bedroom is cool, because if they're hot, if they're uncomfortable, right, for us as well, the likelihood of us waking up multiple times in the middle of the night is much higher. And then the next, I would say, number 6 is adjusting sleep needs according to age, right? So even though I talked about having a routine and role model and things like that, you should know that, your teenager, for instance, needs more sleep, right? Most people feel like, oh yeah, teens don't need as much sleep. They actually need more sleep. Your teen needs anywhere from 8 to 10 hours of sleep. The problem is because they have a shift in their sleep wake schedule where they're not, especially with puberty, where they're not falling asleep till much later. And then they end up waking up super early to go to school because of early school start times. It seems like they need less sleep, but they don't. And I'm going to just put a plug in the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, the American Academy of Pediatrics. So many organizations have really called for delayed school start time for our middle and high schoolers because of this shift, because they do need sleep to be their optimal self. And then also think about your preschooler, for instance. They still need 1 or 2 naps during the day, right? So that's something that you have to take into consideration when you're setting their sleep schedule, to make sure that they're getting sufficient sleep relative to their age. And then number 7, you want to avoid feeding them or having them eat heavy meals before bedtime, because they might get a belly ache, they might feel uncomfortable, and then they don't sleep well, or they might have reflux and then they don't sleep well. Now, you can have a nighttime snack. So if your child wants to have like a cheese stick or, a couple of crackers, something really light before bed, that's as part of their bedtime routine, that is fine. I, number 1, recommend not feeding them in a way that they're taking a sippy cup or a bottle to fall asleep, making sure that snack, whatever it is at the beginning of the routine, even for your babies, because you don't want them to start to develop a sleep association related to what they're eating. And for some people, an example, I'm going to put a plug in. For instance, if you have a baby, you may feel tempted to feed them a lot more so that they sleep more. It doesn't really work that way. If you feed them before their routine, rather than having them fall asleep on a large bottle of milk, you're more likely to get them to have a more sustained sleep. So have a snack, that's fine, but try to move it to the beginning of the routine, and don't forget to brush their teeth right after that. And then number 8 is something that I feel is so important. Recognize if your child or you has a sleep disorder, right? So there are different kinds of things that could be going on. If you're noticing a pattern in difficulties falling asleep, difficulties staying asleep, or your child is consistently waking up early, it may be a sign they have what you call behavioral insomnia or insomnia. And so that's something that you want to address with your child's pediatrician. If you're noticing snoring is not cute. Your child should not be snoring. When I say snoring, like habitual snoring, meaning that they're snoring anywhere from 3 to 5 nights a week, that might be a sign they have sleep apnea. So you need to pay attention to that. Another thing that may make you think, okay, maybe there's something else going on that's affecting my child's sleep, could be if they have really restless sleep, where they're tossing, turning, or they're complaining of discomfort in their legs. If you're seeing things like that, that may be related to what we call a sleep-related movement disorder. And then finally, look at their daytime function, right? If you see your child is either like super hyperactive or is like very tired, very sleepy during the day, and you think it's related to their bedtime or to their nighttime sleep, then that may be a sign that something else is going on. And I recommend that you speak with your child's pediatrician. So again, we've talked a lot about different things. I've covered 8 different ways to make sure that you make healthy sleep a family priority, not just for you, right? But you get your family on board. And if this has been helpful, I would love it if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know which of this resonates well with you, and definitely share it with those in your community. Until next time, I hope you rest well.